This is going to be another request review from one of my good friends on Facebook named John. I'll put a thumbnail up for him. Yeah, I don't even know what he looks like, but yeah, John helps me with a lot of keeping up with the new movies coming out, and he's kind of the customer I'm trying to reach with my channel, so I listen to what he says, and he knows a lot of stuff about horror. So that leads us to Pin, the movie he's been bugging me basically since he started messaging me on Facebook to watch, and he doesn't bug me, he lets me know movies to watch. But Pin, released in 1989, starring Terry O'Quinn for a minute, directed by Sander Stern, based off a book by Andrew Niederman. I really kind of want to read the book now that I've seen the movie. The movie itself is low budget, and if you think of it's more of like a psychological horror film, basically. The film starts off, Terry O'Quinn's the father of these two young kids, Leon and Ursula, and the film follows the two children. But at the beginning of the film, in his doctor's office, he has a anatomically life-size male figure, of course, with the skin missing, so it's like hard plastic, and you can see all the muscles and veins under it. And the kids and him call it Pin, and he basically uses it to, you know, explain things in life to them, you know, like the birds and the bees is one scene they use. And of course, that's beyond strange, and the mother's not much better, and they grow up in this crazy, dysfunctional family, even though they have money. And when they're older, the boy kind of becomes obsessed with Pin, and more of his psychological problems start coming out. I don't want to go too much into the synopsis of the film, but believe me, this movie oozes creepiness. Pin himself is kind of like a character in the movie, and I don't want to give too much away about him, but he kind of goes through a little transformation as the film goes on, and every scene he's in is creepy because you almost expect him to move, and sometimes you think he's moving. And I was like, you know, I didn't want to rewind it every 5 seconds. It's just creepy. I mean, at the beginning, you can tell that Terry Quinn's is supposed to be like the ventriloquist, but it's just, I don't know. It just goes from, you know, the psychological horrors of a film like Psycho and, you know, dysfunctional family, all the way to the killer doll stuff. And he's like a life-size killer doll. And it's just, he's creepy. I mean, that's why the film works, is because of Pin. Apparently short for Pinocchio. And that's what led me to believe I probably had seen this film when it first came on video a long time ago and forgot about it in the back of my mind. There's only a few bad things about it. The kid that plays Leon at the beginning of the film, because, you know, it plays like 2 generations of him when he's young and when he's an adult. The child actor, he was horrible. He was like a bad Bill Mummy. It bumps on almost not being real, but they wrangle it in and they keep it within the realm of something that could actually happen, which I liked. But at points it gets pretty cheesy, and the middle of the film's a little bit dull. Overall, I thought they could have probably shortened the film, or it even could have probably been done as a good short film. But the third act really picks up and makes up for the middle being a little bit dull. You know, there's no great score here or anything like that. The acting is all right, whatever. I can't say the acting's that bad. You know, the film overall is just a basic film. It gets the message across, and the message is fistfuls of creepiness, basically. Oh, and there's one more thing I didn't like, but it was funny. It's more like a cheesy thing. There's a part where he's arguing with Terry O'Quinn, the son, and he's like, I want to go to butler school. And I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that was funny. So, yeah, if you haven't seen Pin, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 stars because it's completely freaking, like I said, oozing creepiness. Pin, it's crazy. I wouldn't want that thing around my house. And just the whole interaction with him and David Hewlett and the weird family dynamics make for a pretty interesting film. It lacks a little bit in the middle, slightly dull, and it could have been just probably more of a dynamic film overall, but I like the fact that they kept it realistic. They kept the blood and guts realistic. There's hardly any, and it's just an interesting film, especially compared to its predecessors probably in the late 80s. Some of those movies I go back and I watch them and they're just horrible, so I can see why this one has kind of stood the test of time and become like a cult hit. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. Yeah, if you've seen Pin, tell me what you thought down below. I'll leave some links to some Facebook pages where you can find people like John who know like way more about horror. All right, guys. See you soon with another review.